Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and today I wanted to do a video regarding the new abilities that I would like to see added to the game in Heaven's Word. Now, I was originally going to do every job in the game in a single video, however, I think it would take way too long with how much I talk, so I'm going to break this into 3 videos: tanks, healers, and DPS. So this will be the first of a 3-part series of videos. Now, before we go any further, I want to say, complete baseless speculation. That is all this video is. A wish list of abilities, if you would. Things I'd just like to see added to the game. By no means are these abilities confirmed or in any way being developed by Square Enix. Second, this video is about tanks. Gonna leave Dark Knight out of it. That's a video for another time to speculate what kind of abilities and whatnot spells they could have. So I'm gonna leave that out of this one. And finally, I just want to make sure that everyone's aware of the way that I'm sort of calculating how we're getting these abilities. Currently in the game, it pretty much alternates between ability trait, ability trait, ability trait, and a new job ability every 5 levels after level 30. So if we follow that pattern, we're going to get a new trait at 52, 56, and 60, a new class ability at 54 and 58, and new job abilities at 55 and 60, totaling 7 new abilities and traits. Now, I wasn't able to come up with 7 abilities and traits. I came up with maybe 3 for each job. So we're just going to go through the ones that I came up with, starting with the Paladin. So I have a picture of the Paladin here. Yeah, whatever. That's just for show. Let's be real here. So I came up with 3 different kinds of abilities that the Paladin could be added. The first one, very simply, I wanted a combo ability after Riot Blade. I feel like a lot of Paladins share that desire, just to have more of a reason to use Riot Blade and combo it into something else. I thought it could go maybe 2 ways with this. Maybe we could add Circle Blade and they could do an AoE, similar to the way that Heavy Thrust and Ring of Thorns kind of combo together. But to get all the way to a 3-part combo just to execute 1 AoE, I wasn't really sure how that would work out. It's still a possibility, but I instead opted for a new single target damaging ability. Something to replace Rage of Halone so they don't have to use that as their DPS and their tanking combo, just to break things up a little bit more for the Paladin. Not trying to make it overly complex here, so I just added Vorpal Blade. It's just an attack that deals more damage than Rage of Halone, and it combos off of Riot Blade. Really simple, gives you a reason to really use that other combo a little bit more often, especially as an off tank. Now, the next 2 abilities are job abilities that I came up with for the Paladin, and they're very holy themed, they're very oath themed. So the first thing I really wanted to capture with the Paladin is we've sort of lost that whole Holy Knight feeling. You're kind of just a dude with a sword and a shield at this point. Sure, you have Spirits Within, you have Sword Oath, you have Shield Oath, but you don't. When I look at a Paladin, I almost don't even see their sort of holiness, their sort of affinity with white magic that we've come to know about Paladins in the Final Fantasy XIV universe. So I wanted to give them a new oath, Divine Oath. Divine Oath is not like Sword and Shield Oath, where it's something you have to select and it's a permanent buff. It's instead a short cooldown that stacks on top of whichever oath you're using. It greatly increases your healing potency for a short time. Healing spells and abilities also generate increased enmity, and spell casts cannot be interrupted during this time. This has multiple uses amongst Paladins. There are Paladins who pretty much only use their MP for either flash or stone scanning themselves at this point. Very rarely is Cure ever used. This gives enhanced usability to Cure, makes it so that it actually generates increased enmity so you're not punished in other ways for using it, and the spellcast can't be interrupted, so because they're guaranteed, you can get automatic stone skins off for mitigation without worry. You can get those extra cures off without having to worry about mitigation, and it helps a little bit for the AoE tanking. You know, you hit all the enemies and you start curing yourself, you're now not only generating increased AoE enmity when you don't have any more damaging abilities to do, but you're also helping the healer so that the healer can maybe get an extra holy off, or you know, multi-dot the opponents. It's got multiple uses, and I think it would be a great addition. Now, not everyone levels their Conjurer outside of the level 15 to unlock the job as much as you should level up to 34 for Stone Skin, so I also gave it another use. Reactivating Divine Oath a second time removes the effect and heals the Paladin for a high amount. This way, players who aren't really keen on using the whole curing potency part of it also have this big cure for themselves, and you could use it at the end of the duration as well. To balance it, you can make it scale with the amount of duration remaining. That way it's not like you could spam cures and then pop it at the end, but I just think it would be great for the Paladin to have some sort of self-healing ability through white magic, holy magic, you know, really bring out that Paladin theme. Now, the last ability is another Oath ability. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't think of too many things for the Paladin. Those are really the big things that I wanted to see. And yes, the name did come from Kingdom Hearts. I've been playing Birth by Sleep Final Mix, and that was the level 60 ability, could be called Oathkeeper, and it would allow the Paladin to benefit from all of the oaths for a short time. This means they would still benefit from the damage reduction of Shield Oath, and I mean the outgoing damage reduction, the reduced damage done part, but they would also take the reduced damage, generate increased enmity, their auto attacks would get the potency bonus from Sword Oath, and they could also benefit from Divine Oath for a short time. Now, I considered allowing it to reset the cooldown of Divine Oath so it could be popped again, but instead I opted for just resetting its cooldown and not resetting its cooldown and giving it just the healing effect. That could be changed at any point. Remember, it's all speculation, so it's not like this stuff needs to be balanced unless for some reason it was added into the game. That's all I could really come up with for Paladin. I couldn't think of any traits, and I couldn't think of another class ability. I was really struggling to think of something. The only real trait I could think of is something that increases the amount of damage Vorpal Blade does, but it's already supposed to do more than Rage of Halone, so why would I give it that trait? That's kind of, to me, just a lazy trait. Just a, oh, well, make it start with less damage, and when you level up, it eventually does more damage. It's a lazy trait to me, so I decided not to go with that. But I really want to hear what you guys have to say about the traits for Paladin, because I'm sure there's some Paladins out there that have some great ideas. So be sure to let me know in the comment section below. However, we still have one more tank job to talk about, and that is the Warrior. It's a little more, picture's a little bit warped. I wanted to fit everything all onto one page here. And again, I only came up with 3 things for the Warrior. I came up with 1 job ability, 1 class ability, and 1 trait. Now, the first ability I have is there is a new Warrior ability, a job ability, and that is Full Break. And this would, of course, use all 5 Infuriate stacks. It would sit on a pretty long cooldown, probably similar to Unchained in terms of use. And its ultimate effect would be to deal some damage, less than Inner Beast, I want to actually keep it a little bit more balanced, maybe like 200 potency or something like that, maybe even less. And instead, its focus is on refreshing the duration of Storm's Eye and Path, so you not only can only use this with 5 Infuriate stacks, but it's best used when both Storm's Eye and Storm Path are already on the boss. So it has a lot of combined uses. You can use it to just extend Storm's Eye, you can use it to just extend Storm's Path, or you can use it on both of them if you timed your combos properly. Now, it can also enhance the effect of those stacks for its duration by about 5%. I thought about doubling them to 20%, just 5% more. So the slashing debuff, the healing debuff, and the reduction of the damage dealt debuff could be all 5% greatly increased. Put it on a long cooldown, it's raid utility, it's increased damage on the boss, and it's a good use for me for Infuriate stacks. That was my idea for the new Warrior ability. Then, kind of had a really basic Marauder class ability where I know that they have Butcher's Block, Storm's Eye, and Storm's Path, all 3-part combos that they have to deal with, but they still, just like the Paladin, don't have just a damage combo they can do that doesn't also have some sort of additional effect. So I wanted to give them something like that, and I wanted to give them Raging Rush, which could combo off of I said combo off of Maim. Realistically, Maim already has 2. They could just make a combo of Skull Sunder. I wanted to kind of avoid the whole enmity increasing thing being any part of the combo, but I figure it wouldn't really hurt that much to have it go off of Skull Sunder as well. And it could just do more damage than Butcher's Block. Simply put, Butcher's Block does quite a bit of damage, so it wouldn't be that much higher, but I wanted it to be a more effective off-tanking tool. Something you can use that you might not accidentally rip aggro off of the other tank because he's using an enmity combo. It could even have the same potency as Butcher's Block, just no enmity increase, just so that is taken out. But I think we would want to give it some sort of use, you know, a little bit more potency, maybe like 10 more, just so it has a place alongside Butcher's Block. And the last thing I came up with, this is probably the most overpowered thing I came up with, and I know after that whole Oathkeeper thing, you know, those buffs were only 10 seconds each. This is probably the most overpowered thing I came up with. A new trait for warriors called Warcry, where using Berserk empowers the attack power of nearby allies. So that means it doesn't affect casters, it just affects physical DPS, any other tanks in the area, as well as ranged DPS Bard specifically. So basically it would mean when using Berserk, it would empower the attack power of nearby allies by a small amount. Berserk is 50% attack power. That is equivalent to 50% more strength worth of attack power. We could not give that to melee DPS. That would be too ridiculously overpowered. So limit it to something like 5%. Like that's still noticeable, but it's not a huge amount. It's very noticeable, but still manageable. Also, just so we don't have warrior stacking, so you can just, you know, you know, re-up it as often as possible, keep the buff up for a very long period of time. Give it something similar to Antibody, where if they've been affected by it, they can't be affected by it for at least another minute. So you'd have to kind of stagger the use of the Berserks in order to get it to work like that. Even so, you may even want to have it so that when a warrior's Berserk wears off, Warcry just doesn't work until Berserk is off cooldown again. That way, it can literally only line up with a single warrior, and you don't have double stacking warriors being a thing for pushing down and rage timers, and it just makes sure Paladin still has a place in the raid. And those are all the abilities I came up with for the tanks for Heaven's Word. Again, no Dark Knight in this video. Let me know what you guys think, what kind of class abilities and traits you would like to see in Heaven's Word. I want to start a discussion here, and I am going to be making the healing and DPS videos. DPS videos, I might even have to break up into 2 parts if it's going to take too long. This already took 11 minutes. So, anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share for more Final Fantasy XIV guides, news, information, speculation, whatever. And until next time, take care.